Hey boys, it's HarmNone. Today we're going to be customizing the Dinka Jester Racecar in Grand Theft Auto Online. It's been a very long time since I've customized this car in particular. It is, of course, based off of the Dinka Jester, the car. The non-race version, of course. The race car version came out shortly after the regular version of the car actually released. It's a very cool one. Let's go ahead and get started with the armor. We're going to go all the way up on that, the brakes as well. Let's go ahead and throw the engine on there as well. And of course, we'll do the transmission and the turbo on top of it all. So we got most of the performance stuff done and out of the way. Let's go ahead and start off with the front bumper options. Now, of course, this thing is a race car, so you know we're going for a race build today. We're going to go with the splitter with canards for today. For the front bumper option, I do think that that looks really cool. For the rear diffuser, I think that I do want to go for the painted one, even though I like the carbon better. And it's the same thing with the front bumper. I like the carbon a little bit better, but you do get that extra livery on it, which is pretty cool. And I want to match up the rear end with the front end with, you know, having the paint color for the diffuser. So we got that. For the exhaust, we have the oval exhaust, the chrome tip exhaust, and of course the race exhaust. I think, honestly, stock looks so good because it just fits in with the shape, but I feel like the oval exhaust looks a little bit, you know, cooler. So we'll go ahead and throw that on. We got the xenon lights. Let's go ahead and put that on. Neon kit, let's do that to lower the center of gravity ever so slightly, make the handling just a little tiny bit better. Because it's a race car, I'm going to go for the SA exempt plate. I feel like it just fits. It's a little bit cleaner, a little bit nicer, so we'll go ahead and do that. And then for the color of the vehicle, you know what? I want to see, is there an option to do the livery on this car? There is not. Okay, so we're stuck with this livery. Now, I must say the white actually really does look very good. So it's going to be hard to find something as good as the white for this car, I feel like. But at the same time, I'm sure that we're going to come up with something. We could probably go for a really dark red. I feel like that could be kind of an interesting way of going about this. We could go for like a Cabernet red. We could also go for something like a salmon pink, something a little bit different like that. Just sort of an off color, you know, I feel like that could kind of work. Orange, of course, would be okay as well. It's actually kind of interesting. I kind of almost like the orange with this livery. I feel like it kind of looks really cool. So that's an option. We do have gold, we do have bronze that we could go for. We got yellow, but that just kind of looks like McDonald's, and it's just kind of like, yeah, it's kind of boring. We do have like an olive green or like a bright green we could go for, but that's just like Christmas themed, so it doesn't really work super great either. We could go for like a darker blue. That almost looks kind of good, but at the same time, it's like, it doesn't really fit with the red, you know what I mean? So not my favorite. We could go for bleached brown. That's kind of interesting. It's kind of something a little bit different. There's also the purples, of course, that we could go for. You know what? Actually, something about the purple and the red looks really sick to me, and I think that I kind of want to go for it. Let's go for, which purple do we want? We got bright purple, midnight, spinnaker, and shafter. I feel like shafter is like almost more matte. I kind of like it though. Let's go for a shafter purple on this thing. And for the secondary color, we will also go for a shafter purple as well. I don't ever do purple vehicles, so this is actually kind of interesting for me. Now, we can do the roll cage and chassis upgrade, or we can do the roll case and race modifications, which I think the race modifications, obviously, we're going to have to go for that. Looks really sick. So I'm definitely a fan of that. Let's go ahead and do it. We got the rear louvers we can put on this thing as well, which is a pretty interesting option. I'm actually going to go for that just because I think it looks kind of cool. So we'll do that. For the side skirts, we can definitely add some on here, and the sport skirts add a little bit more livery, so we're going to go for it. For the wings, we have the carbon wing, we have the color-coded wing, we have the carbon wing type 2, and the GT wing. Now, the GT wing is really interesting. It's so huge, but it does have that Dinka Racing livery on the side of it, which is pretty cool. At the same time, we also have the color-coded wing, which has more livery on it. So I think that kind of makes a little bit more sense for what we're going for today. So we'll do that. For the suspension, I will lower it all the way, even though it barely drops it really, but I'm sure it'll help with the handling. So we'll go ahead and do that. For the wheel type on this thing, I'm really tempted to go for something in the track category. I feel like we could come up with something really sick here. I feel like the ice storms could be really cool, actually. They do have that chrome lip around the edge, which really pisses me off, and I do not like it at all. But, you know, I'm really tempted to go for the ice storms, and I always want to use these wheels, but they have that chrome lip around them, and I feel like they never fit. I'm going to go ice storms today. I'm going to do it. Now, for the wheel color, we could go alloy, or we could keep it in the red. We could also go for a midnight purple, or a shafter purple, except the shafter purple looks really weird. It doesn't really fit with the other purple on the car, I feel like. Or maybe I'm just getting thrown off, but it's like a different texture to the paint. And it is way brighter. Like, that is not the same purple at all. Like, this is way, way, way brighter. On the front, it looks a little closer, but yeah, I don't know. I think that I might just go black on the wheels today, to be honest. I don't know. The other stuff's kind of throwing me off. I feel like the black looks good, so let's go ahead and just do it. Bulletproof the tires. We could put on a design on the tires. Let's go for the Atomic logo, actually. I feel like that looks pretty sick. It's got a Atomic little sponsorship there, so we can go ahead and throw that on. And last but not least, we got the windows. It is a race car, so I'm not going to tint the windows. And that's it. Let's take it outside. We're going to do a sound test and then get into the full review of the car. So let's take a listen here quick. Now, although it is a very basic sound, and I'm sure I've heard this on many other cars in GTA, it does have a nice little overrun to it, and I feel like it sounds really good, actually. I feel like it sounds way better than I thought that the Jester Racecar sounded, and I'm really wondering if it's got a different sound than the regular Jester, because I feel like the regular Jester does not sound like this, and it would kind of make sense for the race version to sound, you know, a little bit crazier, a little bit more unhinged, because of course it is a race car. But maybe it has the same sound. I don't really know. Now, another thing with the Jester, I always thought this vehicle was rear-wheel drive only, but as it turns out, it's actually all-wheel drive, hence it getting a very good launch. And you should be able to see with the wheels here, actually. The front are going to break traction just at the start, right off the line. Now, I do think that it is a pretty heavy split with where the power is getting sent. I think it must be like 75% to the rear wheels, and then you know, 25% to the front, something like that. And whoa, we got some business to handle here. Hang on, come here, buddy. Come here, buddy. There we go. Yeah, he's gone. Oh my god! Wow, that guy's dead. Holy! The Jester Racecar, awesome car. Amazing car, actually. This thing is very fun to drive. It does exactly what you want it to do, like, all the time. It goes around corners super quick. It does have a pretty good amount of downforce, and the acceleration off the line is great due to that all-wheel drive, which again I didn't really know about until pretty recently, and that's awesome. The fact that it has all-wheel drive is a huge added bonus for this car, for sure, and that definitely makes it a lot more worth it to own, I would say. Now, top speed-wise, I do think that this thing is a little bit lower, and it is in the sport category, which is obviously a super high contention category in GTA. You've got so many cars in the sports category. I think it's the most densely packed category in the entire game. And the top of the category is super competitive, and this thing is not near the top of the category. I would say it's upper half for sure, maybe even upper, like, you know, 25% of the sport category, but you're definitely not going to win any races with it, unfortunately, just because of how insane some sports cars in this game are. But there is the, you know, direct rival to the Jester Racecar, which is the Dubachi Massacre Racecar. They came out at the same time, and they're both really cool vehicles, and they are definitely something that I would recommend looking into for, you know, both of them, because the racecar versions are ever so slightly better than the non-race car versions of the two cars. They're a little bit faster, a little bit higher top speed, a little bit better acceleration. I think the handling is virtually identical with both of them. I think they're both, you know, pretty similar. So not too much of a difference there, but they both are super worth picking up. And if you guys are interested, I would purchase this car at Simeon's this week. Now, I do believe that today, when this video is coming out, is the last day that you will be able to buy this thing. So I would 100% recommend going there. It costs $350K. but it's well worth your money. This car is a blast. It's super fun to drive, and even if you're not planning on taking it into races, it is still just a very fun car to have in free mode, whether you're in a public session or a private session, although I would definitely lean towards private. It's just an awesome car. It handles really nicely, it accelerates well. It's just a good car to drive, and I definitely think that it is well worth its price tag of $350,000. So do with that information what you will, guys, but the Jester Racecar is certainly worth picking up, at least in my opinion. If you guys enjoyed the video, if you learned something, a like is of course appreciated, if not dislike. Subscribe to my channel if you guys are new and you want to see more customizations and reviews, as well as my other content that I post every single day. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. I will see you all in the next video. Until then, take care. Peace.